Okay, guys, according to this, we're on. Maybe somebody could tell me if we are. All right, excellent. It's on the Americana Highways Facebook page. I'm going to wait a couple of seconds here before I get started so you get to watching me doodle around in front of the camera, and then we'll get going. Okay, guys, I need somebody who knows me to text me and tell me if this is clear enough and if you can hear me clearly enough, because I had to do a little adjustment today. All right, here we go. Now we got some information. All right, we got somewhere, folks. Sounds like we're alive. I'm here to tell you the two most important things you need to know today. I'm going to sing a whole bunch of songs, and you're going to be okay, because if you do what you're supposed to do for merely a few months, we can fix things and get back to trying to keep the corporations from ripping us off. Because same as it ever was is going to come back around sooner or later. Shelly was a large animal vet, weighed at least 500 pounds. Dale was a skinny patent attorney, quit to be a rodeo clown. Got run over by a bull called Twister, and the doctors were to find he'd been a woman all along. Shelly didn't seem to mind. And it wasn't the life they expected to live, wasn't the end to the means. They were just living out on the edge of the big old American dream. Randall was the first in his family, get him a piece of ground. Dragged a Clayton trailer to the middle of nowhere, jacked up to settle down. But the bank had strings on the money, and when everything went to hell, says you couldn't afford it anyway, boys, it's private just as well. And it wasn't the life he expected to live, wasn't the end to the means. He was just hanging on to the edge of the big old American dream. Everybody said Jeb looked poorly, but he never would tell them why. And he left the bullets out of the gun, 'cause nobody needed to die. He was saying he was sorry when he took the money he needed for medicine. But he turned around, took the money right back, said, "I'll never do that again." And it wasn't the life he expected to live, wasn't the end of the means. He was just slipping off the edge of the big old American dream. Well, Ryan's heart spoke clearly. He put down his gun and said no. And they locked him away in Leavenworth prison. They were never gonna let him go. He said, "You can't cage a free soul, you can't trap the wind." But he wondered when they put him down in a hole if he'd ever be home again. And it wasn't the life they expected to live, wasn't the end of the means. He was just staring out at the edge of the big old American dream. That's off my last album before the one coming out now. Loves Bones and Stars. Loves Bones and Stars. Yeah. I feel weirdly melancholy today, guys. I don't tour. And so when they said I had to stop touring, I feel guilty. I didn't have to stop touring. Hopefully everything will be cleaned up enough I can go back out to Europe in December, but if I can't, well, I'll get there at some point. So I have this album coming out that I like about as much as any album I've ever made. With Frank Swart and Brian Brinkerhoff. Did it out in California. Drummer's Alvino Bennett. And Alvino, if you're on here, man, you made me sound real good. But I heard the final mixes today, and it's a pretty damn good record. I hope it gets out there to you. This is on it. 25 years down in the hole, never heard a word from a mumbling soul. The day was night and the night was black, and I leave and go to prison, lying on my back. Seasons changing overhead, while I lay here cold on an iron bed. Even a train can jump a track, and I leave and go to prison, lying on my back. Hey. Chains of life, chains of death, chains that rattle with my every breath. Me and the devil, we made a pact. I'd leave and go to prison, lying on my bed. Hey. Me and the devil, we made a pact that I'd leave and go to prison, lying on my bed. I get requests for this song all the time, and I didn't set out to be what they call a topical writer, political writer. I stumbled into it when I was in my 20s. I never quite got it right until I got a little bit older. But this one's hung around a long time. When I wrote it, as they say, stuff was fucked up. Still is. On the back of a truck, scrawling highway dirt, said my wife is gone and my heart still hurts. I thought, what kind of man puts his life on wheels for his God to see and the world to feel? And it's hard weather out there. It's hard weather out there. It's hard weather out there. Well, the sign on the screen said business is poor. Anyone who wants this place, the keys are inside the door. Me and the missus had another bad year. We know there's a rainbow, it ain't around here. And it's hard weather out there. It's hard weather out there. It's hard weather out there. Oh man, it's hard. Well, set 'em up, buddy. Make it whiskey or beer. Just keep 'em coming, 'cause we can't drink the water around here. They gave us the poison, took all the money, and I'm gonna keep drinking till it starts being funny. And it's hard weather out there. It's hard weather out there. It's hard weather out there. Oh man, it's hard weather out there. It's hard weather out there. It's hard weather out there. Oh man, it's hard. You can get that one on my I Don't Do This for Love, I Do This for Love album, which I recorded in a studio in Nashville, engineered by this always happens, engineered by my friend Ben. Man, I don't think I've ever done that before. He's actually forgotten the last name of any human being on earth, but he knows who he is. Rec Room Studios, Ben Surratt. Dude, getting old sucks. Alright, so now comes the big decision. Where do I go with the new stuff or the old stuff? And I get a request for this one as well a lot of the times, so I think we'll do this now, and after that we'll try a couple of newer things. I know it's late for y'all in the UK and in Europe. If you're there, I truly appreciate it. Also, if you can read my sign, it's got my album cover for my next album on it. Nathan Bell, Red, White, and American Blues. It Couldn't Happen Here. I came up with that title a long damn time ago, so either I'm prescient or stuff just keeps happening. Let's take a little trip. Crow lost his last $50 in a casino on the Cherokee Nation. Threw his final chip on top of the pile, gave up on his own salvation. Said, what's a man if not a traveling man? Set off for California. 3,000 miles of so that's well, it's a man if not a traveling man. Through 1,200 miles of Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Arizona. That's the verse. Well, somewhere in the panhandle, between come hither and go to hell. Two cowboys in a 92 dually truck took his boots and his leather belt. But they left him with a can of warm beer and a pair of their old shoes. So it was easy for Crow, an optimistic man, to think his luck was beginning to improve. Well, it wasn't long for a Christian man pulled up, said, climb on in. He said, I had his son once myself, and you reminded me of him. And I pray that I can have him back. It's the only prayer I pray at all. But all God ever seems to give me are false hopes and close calls. Crow said, I'm nobody's boy, so before we get too far, I'm only gonna disappoint you, so you best just stop the car. He was 100 miles from New Mexico, and he knew that he'd be. He was a free man in Oklahoma, with nothing to lose but time. There's at least some chance my buddy Richard's watching. The song's called Etta B, and it's for my daughter. Come to think of it, it should be for any kid out there. Before Etta B was born, I sent a different song to my friend Richard that said, when you grow up, little kid, you should just not be anything like your grandfather or me. He said, it's a good song, but it's a little harsh for a baby. So I wrote him this one. Open up your eyes, it's all brand new. Every wish you make can still come true. I'm an old man, but I have wishes for you. Stay young at heart, be an old soul. Keep your head and lose all control. Laugh a little louder at every near miss. Live your life for a day like this. Listen to the wind blow, ignore free advice. Always think first, sometimes think twice. Keep your balance when everything shifts. Roll the dice, but keep your cards hidden. Try something foolish that is forbidden. Save your love, then blow it all on one kiss. Live your life for a day like this. Skip the circus, join the freak show. Remember birthdays, forget what you know. Do everything but never make a list. And every day will be a good measure of the rusted coins that you turn to treasure. So open your eyes, there's so much you won't want to miss. Live your life for a day like this. May every day be a day like this. May every day be a day like this. It's a Matt Shamala guitar, by the way. Matt Shamala of Fairhaven, Massachusetts. And best guitar I ever played, bar none. And that's because he makes it with the help of magical wood sprites. They live in the factory with him, about this tall. They come out at night when he's at home with his family, and they do all the work that people don't really, not healthy work, like the gluing and the spraying on of the polish. And a lot of these sprites die, but it's it's their great honor to give their lives for Matt's guitars. So when you buy one of Matt's guitars, you're buying the Sacrifice of wood sprites, which makes it a particularly interesting guitar because even Larrivee doesn't use wood sprites, they use frogs. This is off the next album too. A monk lights himself on fire in Vietnam. I'm watching on our first black and white television. A monk burns himself to death in Vietnam, and I get the American blues. A man shoots a man for walking down the street. There's a black man in broad daylight. You can shoot a black man for just walking down the street when you've got the American blues. The governor watches midnight come and go. A man's wage is to poison another man, so the governor can keep her hands clean of the American blues. The lights go out in Alabama and people wait in the dark. They don't use the numbers, so they have nothing to count on. The lights go out in Alabama and women are shackled to the American blues. The men without sons and daughters call themselves fathers. The church rapes the children it's paid to educate. Not a day goes by in this country that I'm not a father with the American blues. A man learns an honest trade from the war machine, and he disappears into the backwoods and prison cells. He weighs less than a few thoughts and prayers when he dies underneath the American blues. Tribe freezes themselves to the bulldozers. My car starts every morning in the dead of winter. There are people chained to machines everywhere with the American blues. A man built a fountain named it the Trail of Tears. Children play in the water in the sweltering heat. None of us have the heart to tell them the original story of the American blues. We are losing our lives one day at a time with bullets and useless poetry. Soon we'll be burning together, my friend, in red, white, and American blues. Burn, baby, burn. Burn, baby, burn. I like to try to write an occasional peppy number, keep the spirits up. I wrote that actually because I was listening to Gil Scott-Heron's The Bottle, driving down the highway one day, and I thought, man, I can't write The Bottle. I'm not Gil Scott-Heron, but I can write what I can write. And so that's dedicated to Gil Scott-Heron. And there's an awesome drum part on it from Alvino Bennett, and Frank Swart put together this funky little guitar thing that's right there with the Staples and the Isley Brothers and everything, so it's going to be a hell of a record, folks. Now, I should mention that if you're donating money to me, I'm just going to pass it on through. So everything I see today that isn't a CD sale, or actually CDs, on CDs, I may go ahead and take the money from the CD sales and just keep the shipping money and put the rest on. It's going to my, I don't know if they want their name mentioned, so I won't say it, because everybody thinks, I guess I know good people, because everybody thinks everybody else is worse off than they are. It's going to go to my booking agent and support people that support my tours when I go out there, because they don't have any way to make a living. You can't work from home when nobody's working. So if you're pitching in the money, it's going right through. It's a pass-through gig here. It's like I'm like that contractor that just there in name only. So which is usually an illegal thing, but here's kind of cool. So I'm gonna do a couple more, and we're gonna shut it down. And you go to my website, Nathan Bell Music. You go there, you find out what the heck's going on in my world if you're interested. When the record will come out. Again, I'm really excited about it. But also, and this is probably even more important, I think this Facebook Live works pretty well in terms of getting people on it. And so I'm going to set up a show that's better for the European folks. And as you know, I've done a few rehearsals, but I'll set up some actual serious shows. So if you're one of those people who's tuning in and isn't liking my Facebook page, so just go to www.zuckerbergisafascist.com/Nathan Bell. I wrote this song called Chainsaws and Gasoline, but it isn't ready. I'm just saying the title because I know it'll make Brian really happy. He likes titles like that. It's an old one, but do that, and I'll do one to close out. And, this just goes on all night on Americana Highways, so I hope you'll stick around. I wasn't smart enough to put the list down there on who's on, but I think it's Nathan Kalish right after me, or Kalish. If I mispronounced it, I apologize. Hey Kev, this is for you. I've been listening for the airplane, static on the radio. That ain't no way to live a life. You gotta live the life you know. Trade a lane. Don't count days before hours. Don't count hours before minutes. Don't count minutes before seconds. No, don't count anything at all. Trade a lane. We shall be free. We shall be free. I know. We shall be free. We shall be free and trade a lane. Don't let them tell you what to read. Don't let them tell you what to say. Don't let them tell you who to love. Don't let them tell you who to save and trade a lane. Don't let them tell you where to live. Don't let them tell you who to love. Don't let them tell you anything at all, man. Don't believe a single word you hear in trade a lane. We shall be free. We shall be free. I know. We shall be free. I know we shall. We shall be free and trade a lane. One nation under man, no wall will ever stand against all our love. We shall be free. We shall be free. We shall be free. they'll be free in Trader Lane. Trader So I used up my time. That song's from way back. I wrote it 6 years after 9/11. Along with a song called 6 Long Years, predicted that we just forget about it all. Go back to spending in the malls and running up our credit cards and buying our big SUVs. Every night in this neighborhood, right now especially, twice as many people go out and take a walk. And they keep a distance from each other, but they all wave and they all look at each other. Everybody's out with their dogs. And everybody looks hopeful. And they stay hopeful. So if the only thing you got from me tonight was this, go love somebody. And I appreciate you joining me, and I'm going to stand up and turn this thing off.